Hey, I'm Charlie, and in today's tutorial, you'll learn how to draw these 4 different styles of cats. If you follow along with this tutorial, be sure to tag me over on Instagram at Charlie Clements so I can see your awesome work. So grab yourself a cozy drink and let's get started. Firstly, we're going to create a canvas of 4000 by 4000 pixels. So we'll just click the X here and go to this icon. And I'll just type in 4000 by 4000 pixels with a DPI of 300. And this is going to give you roughly around 37 layers depending on the iPad you have. So I'll just tap create. And I'm going to be using my cat palette here, and feel free to follow along with this color palette. And I've just added the hex codes on the screen now, so feel free to pause the video and grab those. And I'm going to be going in with a pink first. So to do that, I'm going to go to the background just to save myself some layers, click on the background and then pick this pink and then click done. And that's going to set the background color to that pink. And automatically I have a layer above which I can start drawing my cat. So I'm going to start with the first cat and I'm going to go in with this cream. I'm going to be using brushes from my Portrait Power Pack, and I've included this as a link below this video. And I've also got a link to 2 of my favorite brushes from the pack that are absolutely free, the Charlie Inker and Smooth Sketcher, which are also linked below. So feel free to follow along with these brushes, or if you'd rather follow along with the whole set, you can grab them below. Okay, so I am going to create a shape for my cat. I'm going to go in with the cat's ears first, with larger brush, kind of a long triangle for the ear, a line, and then another triangle for the other side. For the head, I'm going to kind of come out a little bit and have these kind of jagged areas here and here to kind of indicate that his cheeks are a little bit fluffy. And then I'm going to kind of bring that back in. So as you can see, I've got the shape of the head here. So once you've come back in, we're going to then create the body. So we're going to create a line kind of coming from that neck all the way down on one side, and then we're going to do the same on this side like this, and then we're going to close that gap at the bottom to kind of close that shape. And then we're just going to drag that colour in. And notice where it says colour drop here, just want to make sure that you set the threshold to around 90%. If I set that too high, it's going to flood my whole canvas, which is not what we want. So around 96% is fine. Next, we're going to work on the tail. I'm going to have the tail coming out from the bottom of my cat. We're going to kind of have this swoop in motion. And then we're going to drag another line coming out here. So you want to have the shape of the tail quite thin at the base, and then it kind of gets fatter as we go. And then we're going to kind of bring it round like this. Okay, so we have our cat's tail, and now we're going to go in with the features. So I'm going to create a new layer, go to the black. And because we're going to be exploring different styles, I'm going to be using these kind of small dots for my first cat. These cute little dots. And then I'm going to have a line coming down like this, and then another 2 lines coming down like that. So it's quite a sad cat. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to pick that pink and draw an upside down triangle like this for the nose. I'll create another layer again, and I'm going to go in now with some of the accessories. So I want to create some glasses for my cat. I'm going to go in with the smaller brush size, and I've got this set to 9%. And I'm going to draw a circle and make sure that that's completely shut. And with my finger, I'm just going to snap that into place on the canvas. And then I can resize it that way. So I'm going to have it about here, and then I can kind of move it around with the select tool till I'm happy with it. I'll duplicate that and drag the other circle to the other side, and then I'll create a new layer and finish that off with a few lines for the rest of the glasses. I'm going to pinch down now just to save some layers once I'm happy with how the glasses look. And I'm also going to add a new layer now and create the collar. So I'm going to go in with my orange Going to bring this round and have this kind of arched around ever so slightly to give it a bit of a 3D feel. And then I'm going to create a new layer above my cat shape now. Toggle on clipping mask. I'm going to go over to that cream and bring in a darker shade of that cream to add some of the features now. So I want to add the legs as well as the paws. So making sure that I'm using a clipping mask, that everything I draw within the shape is going to be confined to this shape. So I'm going to just go in with my larger brush now, and I have my brush set to 26%. I'm going to come down with my legs like this, making sure that they get smaller as they kind of come down. And then I'm going to have the leg kind of hinted at on this side. And then if you feel that the details are a little bit dark, what I like to do is just click on the N and just bring the opacity down a little bit just to make that a bit more subtle. And you can also move parts of your illustration around if you're not 100% happy with it. Okay, so I have my first cat drawn. So next is the orange one. So I'm going to create a new layer again, and we always start with the shape and then we can go in and start adding the accessories and the details. So for this one, I want to have my cat walking. So I'm going to draw this kind of bean-like shape first, like so, and I'm going to fill that in. So once I have the main body of my cat, I can kind of start to add some of the details. So I want to bring this shape up here for the head. And then I'll fill that in. And I'm just doing this in sections just to make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to bring the first leg down, like so. We can just fill that in. And then we're going to have the second leg kind of coming round like that. For the back leg, we're going to have the leg kind of coming out from this area here and pointed this way. So we have a larger part at the top, and then it kind of tails off into a smaller point where the paw is. Mimic that size on this side as well. And I'm just going to round off the back part. Add a tail and the other leg on this side. So this is on the other side. So kind of matching this part here. All right, so we have our cat shape, and now we're going to go in with some accessories again. So I'm going to create a new layer on top, and I'm going to put in clipping mask. I'm going to go in with a darker shade of that orange, about here. And I'm going to go and use my scratchy strands, but you can also use the HB pencil, or you can go in with the Charlie inker. And I'm going to add just a few lines for this cat. And as you can see, everything I'm drawing within this shape is just confined to the cat. About here, maybe I can add a few different strands. I'll create a new layer on top, go in with the blue. I'm going to go back to my Charlie inker, and I'm just going to add this cute little accessory as well. So I'm just trying to think of different ways that I can kind of dress up my cat. So I'm coming in with this kind of bandana around his neck. Again, I'll create a new layer, and this time I'm going to add a few different features as well. So I want my cat's eyes to be kind of at a slant, so I'm going to add one line coming down like this, and then the eye kind of coming out on the other side, so it's kind of at a little angle. I'm going to have this cat kind of smiling, so I'll just have a line and then a smile. I'll grab that pink, create a new layer, and have this cute little heart-shaped nose this time, so I'm changing it up. I'll create a new layer again, go in with my cream, and I'm just going to really gently add some faint whiskers as well. And the last thing I want to do is to kind of highlight the shadow underneath my cat. So I'm going to go and create another layer above, and this is automatically now going to be set to clipping mask. I'm going to add a black. I'm going to add this shadow underneath my cat's stomach, kind of showing that these legs are in the background. And I'll add another one here like so. So I have my second cat drawn. It's time to create my third, and this time I'm going to create a cat lying down. So it's all about having fun here and exploring different styles and ways to draw cats. And this is going to be a really cute one. So I want the cat to have quite a small head for this one. So this is kind of a different style. I'm going to go in with 2 little ears like this. I'm going to bring the head round and have my cat kind of arching round. So this is going to be the back side. And then I'm going to have my cat with 2 cute little arms kind of coming out. And then we're going to finish that shape like this. So this is just a little bit more of an abstract, playful cat. So have fun here. Don't worry if it's not looking like a cat at this point. When you add the features, it will start looking like a cat. So we're going to go in, maybe we can bring this up a little bit. And I'm also going to bring the tail round as well. So I'm going to have the tail kind of swooping round. And remember, you want to have it small at the base and then kind of coming out thicker as we go. And now I'm going to create a new layer on top, go in with my black. And because this cat is lying down, I'm going to have him sleeping. So 2 little lines for the eyes and maybe just have a kind of neutral mouth. I'll go in and add a pink for the nose. Create a new layer, go in with the blue. Just add that collar to show where his neck is. So we're going to repeat the process again, create a new layer above our cat shape, click on that layer and go to clipping mask. I'm just going to select that colour to save time, and I'm just going to add just a really subtle shape, so a subtle mark for the top of the leg, and then a little mark here and here for the ears. And we can also just add a few little lines for the paws. All right, so we have our 3 cats created. It's time for our 4th one. And this one, I really want to mix it up. So I'm going to give this cat a really big head and a small body. So I'm going to create a new layer again and go in with my black now. And again, we're going to break everything down. So we're going to create the head first, and I'm going to have it, like I said, quite large. So about here. Kind of have this like rounded shape, and then have the ear pointing up, and then have the ear pointing up on this side too. And once that is closed, we can just drag that. So I'm going to bring in his back, going to arch that round, and then I'm going to have 2 lines coming down. So 1, 2, and then have this line closed about here. And just make sure that that's completely closed, and then I'm just going to drag that like this. And then I'm going to create the tail. So the tail is going to kind of come up, and it's going to be small at the bottom, and then as we go up, it's going to be a little bit wider at the top. Okay, now for the features. So I'm going to create a new layer again. I'm going to go in with my cream, and I want this cat to have some large eyes. So I'm just going to go in with 1 circle here and maybe 1 circle here. And to make my cat look really cute, I'm going to have the eyes quite wide apart. I'll create a new layer and add some black dots in the middle. And because this cat is black, it's going to be really hard for me to add some darker features. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of a lighter grey. So I'm going to go up to around here. And I'll just bring that layer above my cat. Go to clipping mask, and I'm going to add the cat's leg kind of coming down like this. And again, I'll have this kind of line coming down and then across like this. I'll also add a line and maybe have this cat smiling quite wide. create a new layer and just go in with cute little heart-shaped nose again. So nearly finished. So I'm just going to add a few extra details here. So maybe I'll have some lines for the fur, a few kind of coming down like this as well. I'll add a line in the cat's ears. And to finish it off, I'm just going to create a new layer, go in with my orange and add that cute little collar. And I can't forget those cute little whiskers as well. So with a new layer, just going to go in. And before I go, I just want to add a little thing that you can do to really enhance your cats. So we're going to add a shadow under each one just to make it look a little bit more 3D. So I'm going to go and create a layer below all of my illustration. I'm going to go over to my pink, but I'm going to add it a little bit darker now. I'm going to use my smooth sketcher for this. Just check the size. Go in a bit bigger. Yeah, that's pretty good. And underneath my cat, just going to add this kind of shadow. And we can start to imagine where the light source is coming from. So if the light is coming from this side, we're going to have a little bit more of a shadow on this side. We can kind of highlight that underneath our cat's tail and a little bit here as well. And then we can do it here for the cat. So because the cat is standing, we're going to have kind of a line going across. And for this one, we're going to just highlight ever so gently underneath. And again, if the light's coming this side, we're going to have a shadow here and a little bit here. And here as well. And one last time, just underneath. And we're going to have the light kind of come in from this angle. So we're going to just have a little bit more shadow on that side. And then what we can do is just go in with the opacity and bring that down a little bit depending on how subtle you want it. And there you go. And there you have it, 4 different styles of cats. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to comment, like and subscribe for more tutorials every week. See you in the next video. Bye.